Did your son ever witness any deaths or suicides?
The family had been telling the major that their son was suicidal. He was put in the back gate, and one day he hung himself.
So here we are, at the back gate. This is it. This is the cell. This is the cell. A guy hung himself in here, it's a fact. Less than a year ago. You don't know his name. Nobody really has been in here talking about this guy's suicide. No paranormal investigators, no tours, nobody. That emotion, the energy, that moment of death is fresh. I'm gonna go in here and just see if I can feel anything. Will you close that door?
Go ahead, sir.
This 6-foot by 9-foot cell was the last thing this prisoner saw. Are some of these writings his? Are they thoughts from a man spiraling into depression? Or are they a last message from a man resolved to his fate? What was going through his mind in those final moments? Perhaps tonight his secrets will be revealed to us.
As the saying goes in Texas, we just struck oil because we have a person that has come forward. So this just came through right now, and we're gonna run forward with it. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Now, how long have you spent time in this prison?
Many years.
Many years. Okay. Have you ever had anything weird happen to you in here?
I have not.
Anybody you know?
Yes.
Can you tell me what?
They claim that in this area right here, which used to be a mess hall, there's a copy machine that's over there on that wall, and when they're making copies, they feel someone touching them on their shoulder.
Do you know how many times this happened?
Several.
Okay. Was the person making the copies a female?
Correct.
Okay. The reason why I ask you this, there's a lot of guys locked up in here, and if there was a female to be put in their cell or in their cell block, they would probably be touched, right?
Certainly.
Okay. Is it safe to say this plug right here is
Yes.
what the copy machine was?
Yep.
And the female that you're speaking of, would she tell you or everybody?
Everybody. She was afraid to be in here by herself.
Before we begin our lockdown, there's one more location we need to investigate. It's a museum that contains an object that was involved in hundreds of deaths here in Texas.
Okay, so here we are at the Texas Prison Museum. This right here to the GAC is like Fort Knox. It's not gold, but they have old Sparky in here. The actual electric chair that killed 361 people from 1924 to 1964. When you have a chair that's made out of wood, does it contain or help harbor all of those emotions, all of those thoughts and voices that were once in this human being sitting in it?
Yep. When this gets electrocuted, I think it, boom, goes into the atmosphere, and then it's stuck there, and the traces, the imprints that you're talking about are left over.
Hey, I'm Zach.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This is Nick and Aaron.
Hello?
Now, Jim, you were a warden, weren't you?
Yes, I had 30 years in total.
Okay. Jim, have you had any weird things ever happen in this museum?
I had a couple tell me one day that they were in this area here and they could hear someone moaning, you know, as if they had been struck by something or stabbed or whatever, you know, moaning in a painful way.
Jim, is there something in this museum that has killed hundreds of people?
There is.
And what is that something?
The Texas electric chair.
Has anything been changed on that chair from 1924 to 1964?
To my knowledge, this is all the same. Even the straps are the ones that were there when they quit using it.
As a warden in the prison system here in Texas, we would like to ask you permission to investigate this chair. and to see if we can document anything at all.
You're welcome to, as long as you stay on this side of the bar.
We'll stay on this side.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, let's get ready, guys.
Ready? If you can hear us and you're intelligent and you want to say something, this can capture it, this device right here.
While Nick listens for EVPs, I'm using a Mel meter attached to a pole to see if any spiritual or residual energy is near the chair.
Is there anybody else here with us that wants to talk? What was it like to have that jolt of electricity go through your body?
At this very moment, we catch an EVP that we believe says, "I was shot" or "I was shocked."
What was it like to have that jolt of electricity go through your body?
This is called an SB7 spirit box device. We're gonna try and listen in here and see if anything can come through. Is there anybody here? Any voices? Any thoughts? Memories? Is there anybody here that died in this electric chair? Can you tell us the name of this chair?
For nearly 15 minutes with Jim present, we received no responses whatsoever. Just as we are about to conclude this session, we get an intelligent response that we believe is using slang.
Is there anybody here that wants to talk to us? Yeah. Did you hear that? I go, does anybody here wants to talk to us? And he goes, yeah. Is there anybody here that wants to talk to us?
There is occasion when I happen to be up here at night, I sure may be a little bit more observant when I walk by the chair at night.
This time we're locked up in Sugar Land, Texas.
What was that?
All right, it's nighttime, and it's time yet again to be locked down and incarcerated in yet another prison. And this time, we're locked up in Sugar Land, Texas. What was our crime?
Not hunting enough ghosts, so we have to go in and hunt more ghosts.
We're getting locked in for bad jokes. What makes this one truly unique and even more eerie is not just how old the prison is. This one was full of about 1,200 prisoners less than 6 months ago. We are not allowed to see any death records or any death ledgers like we've seen at Eastern State Penitentiary. So we don't know who died here. It's all mysterious circumstances. So it's our job to try and communicate with the spirits and try and find out what happened here. What spirits are not at rest? They do not give tours. It's not open to the public. We are the only paranormal group that will ever investigate this place.
Okay, right now we have set up a video surveillance station with Billy Tolley. Billy's going to be sitting down here watching these 4 cameras. All this is like a treasure hunt. To find the spirits and the energy, this is our metal detector. If anything breaks this electromagnetic field being generated by the antenna, we may be in the company of a spirit, and then we can take the investigation up a level, trying to figure out whether or not this is just a residual energy or in fact an intelligent spirit that we can interact with, communicate with, and more importantly, try and get information from about what it's like on the other side. That's what this research is all about. We have also set up an X camera on the other side of the prison in solitary confinement because a man committed suicide there less than a year ago.
Evidently, a family had been telling the major their son was suicidal.
This old prison is filled with black mold and asbestos, so because of some respiratory issues, I will be wearing this respirator mask. We decide to start off our investigation here in the inmate dormitories.
So right now we've got a baseline of a 0.0 milligauss reading, and we have a baseline of 73 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we see any drastic fluctuations in that element, that could also mean the presence or the manifestation of a spirit. Is there anybody in here?
See this? This whole room was a cell, but these were their bunk beds.
They were like cubicles.
Yeah, they were just little cubicles and everyone lived in here together. Damn. No freedom, no privacy, jail.
Earlier, we learned from an inmate's father that out of the 14 prisons his son was incarcerated at in Texas, including maximum security, this was the roughest and toughest of them all.
This was the worst place he'd ever been.
Is there anybody in here?
What was that? What was that? Came right over here, down this hole.
Hey, come here. Hurry, get this. It just shot up to a 0.9. It was at a 1 point.
You all right?
No.
1.2, 1.4. Don't move.
I'm feeling this, Nick. I just felt something go through my chest.
Don't move.
Look at that going to a 0.8, 0.5, 0.2. Right now, we're documenting something very, very unusual on the millimeter. It is jumping all over the place. Oh my God! Come here, feel that, Aaron.
It's cold.
Dude, it just got freezing.
Right there. Whoa.
Freezing.
Freezing cold.
All right, I want to document right now that blast of cold air just came out of nowhere, and it felt like it entered my body.
Who is standing in front of me? Get away from me. 3.5.
I don't feel good. I don't feel like myself.
Nick walked in the room and turned the lights off.
It is still early in our investigation of the central unit when events take a profound turn. Whatever noise we just heard seems to have lured us to this exact area where we begin receiving some very unusual EMF spikes, as well as feeling an icy cold pocket of air that has some type of electrical charge to it. We now know that we may have just come face to face with the paranormal.
So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to roll on my digital recorder. Okay, if there's a spirit here, I'm documenting your presence right now. This is the area that the girl is touched.
Yeah, right.
We interviewed a guy earlier who said a girl is always touched here.
He was afraid to be in here by herself.
And that was a credible source. We had to protect his identity because he worked here. Look at 0.0 now. It just went to a 0.0. Now it's going to a 0.5, 0.7, 0.8.
Think about it. A spirit here would never know exactly what this is about, so they're checking the energy it's given out. This is a new thing for them.
And that's a good point you made, Aaron, because we are the very first paranormal investigators, so they don't know what's going on. They may be really excited that we're trying to contact them. To see extreme spikes and drops on a millimeter, that's what leans toward credibility that it's a spirit. There it is again. Come here. Feel this. Here's the wind again.
Yeah, I can feel it right there.
You feel it?
Yep, right there.
Who is standing in front of me right now? 0.1, 0.0. You got that? You got that?
Yes.
We believe that when a spirit passes through you, its energy can make your body feel icy cold, even though you may not receive sudden drops in temperature on a thermometer measuring the air. It's like an internal chill beneath your skin with a static type charge, which the millimeter is documenting.
And the wind goes through me and then it leaves. Who is standing here with me right now? What is your name? Are you touching the female in this room? If you are, here it goes again, 1.0, 1.2,
Still.
1.3.
Yep. Yeah, I see it.
All right, now walk away from me. I want you to walk away from me. 1.4, go away. Get away from me. 3.5.
Earlier, our highest spike was at 1.5 milligauss, and it seems the more we interact with aggression towards the spirit, the more millimeter spikes we're receiving, up to 2 times higher.
Dude, Zach, think about it. You just pulled it away, and probably like, screw you, right. The energy, and now it's closer.
It's almost as if this meter is detecting the agitation of the spirit. As I said, get away from me,
and yelled the very first time I did. Now the spikes have become higher at a 3.5, a 3.7, 3.8. And I do feel agitation. I definitely feel uncomfortable in here. Remember, this is the same exact spot where we were just documenting a 0.0 milligauss baseline. If you're in here, can you slam one of these doors? Who are you?
It's at .4.
What is your name? At this moment during these EMF spikes, Billy notices one of our X cameras going in and out of focus simultaneously with the spikes.
Yeah, there's so much pressure on my chest right now.
Yeah?
Billy is just saying that the focus is going in and out when I'm having the experiences of the millimeter fluctuating. And the focus is preset manually on a locked off position. Whatever energies this EMF detector is picking up on is also manipulating our electronic equipment. To add to this mysterious chain of events, I'm also unaware of what is going on with Nick.
Dude, there's so much pressure on my chest right now. I feel weak.
Yeah?
My chest feels like there's so much pressure on it. Like right up here. Just feels pressure and I just feel like I'm floating, like just really light. I don't feel good. I don't feel like myself.
What do you mean, in a bad sense or what? Are you okay?
No, I just feel drained. I don't feel good.
We capture something here that appears to be a dark shadow figure walking from left to right. The first thing we do is try to debunk this as not being one of our own shadows, so we look at the wide camera where all three of us can be accounted for, as well as our shadows. And at the exact time that this shadow figure is seen walking left to right, and you can even see its left arm pass first, all three of us are standing still. The shadow figure isn't visible in the wide shot because, as you can see here, it passes over this door. And in the wide shot, the door is behind this pillar and obstructed from view.
What do you mean, in a bad sense or what? Are you okay?
No, I just feel drained. I don't feel good.
Right now, you guys got to understand, we're filming. Yes, we do this for a TV show, but when you're here, a lot of things can happen to you.
Just as I begin showing a concern for Nick in the way he's acting, like dropping his head and grabbing his chest, we capture this strange anomaly manifesting just above his head. It then appears to hit him in the face and disappear near his hand. We debunk this as not being a bug. As you can see here, bugs will look like rods and you can very distinctly see wings. We've even captured a very similar event with Nick before at a mental asylum, which also followed with negative effects on Nick.
Look, whole face is red.
We believe that these anomalies can be a visual energized form of a spirit's manifestation, and we have extreme EMF spikes to support this.
Are you okay?
Not really, to be honest.
Alright. Hey, I just saw something come out of your head, Nick, too. Come here, on my camera.
I feel good. Like I feel like I'm gonna collapse.
Come here. Nick, come here, sit down.
We know that it takes a lot for Nick to stop investigating, as he is a very tough dude. So at this point, we all become very concerned as to what's having an effect on him.
I just got like really emotional. All of a sudden, and my eyes just started watering. I'm feeling like this depression, sadness come over me. It feels like something's like on me.
We gotta take a break.
Dude. Nick basically just walked in the room and turned the lights off, didn't want any of the cameras rolling. It's very odd.
What do you want to do to us?
Whoa, that's really cold.
While investigating the central unit, something dark and oppressive has overwhelmed Nick. You've got to remember, this is the first Texas prison that's ever shut down. Not to mention it happened less than just 6 months ago. So all those screams, the violence, the criminal behavior, the survival instincts, all of that dark energy was here in the living form, fueling the spirit form. And now us being here for the first time is like creating a spark in a room full of flammable gas. All it takes is one trigger to reignite the dark spirits that clearly are affecting Nick. At this time, we capture an unexplained voice on our X camera that's been rolling in the solitary confinement for over 49 minutes. We don't believe this to be from any outside contamination, as we are secured and isolated inside of this prison. Is this the spirit of the prisoner who committed suicide?
Oh, there he is. There he is. You alright, Nick?
I know, I'm just like really shaky.
What happened?
You guys know me, I'm not an emotional guy.
No, I know.
It just hit me. I was just so emotional for like a prisoner here. And I just felt the pain of like him being here and just feeling misery. Honestly, if I didn't like just go sit in the front of the building and take a second, I would have lost it, dude. And who knows what would have happened.
Hey, why don't you chill out for a moment? Alright? Aaron, we gotta go back in that room and figure out what's going on in there.
As Billy, Nick, and myself are inside Nerve Center, Aaron is snapping full spectrum photos. And while walking the perimeter, he snaps this one. If you look very closely on the left-hand side, it appears that a partial apparition of a man is standing behind the painted concrete inmate line on top of our equipment cases. You can clearly see 2 feet, legs, and then a torso here in the brighter pink area with no head. A second photo is taken and the figure begins to dissipate.
Nick, do you want to take Billy's seat and let him operate this camera for 10 minutes? Oh, okay. Come here, Bill.
Oh, Billy, let's do it.
We will now use the SB7 Spirit Box to try and directly communicate with whatever spirits are here to see what they want and why they have made Nick feel this way.
I want to know who's in here with us. What's your name? Why are you in here? What are you doing here? No voices. Come here.
It said in here.
What am I gonna find in here? What do you want to do to us?
What's very interesting to us is that the same female voice is telling us that in here he was hurt. Who is this spirit and who is she saying was hurt in here? Is she referring to Nick or someone who died in here whose pain is being felt by Nick?
I was just so emotional for like a prisoner here. And I just felt his pain.
What did you do to Nick?
Ooh, I got chills. Look at that. Whoa, it is cold. That's really cold. Oh no! Oh my gosh.
Because you got me.
You got me.
Is this spirit telling us we got him because we're on target and this is his energy we're feeling right here?
That's really cold.
What's the name of this prison?
As we are communicating with spirits, we capture this light anomaly that very slowly hovers away from us, then momentarily disappears before instantly shooting down directly at my head where it disappears for good. This is debunked as not a bug or lens flare, and many times during our Spirit Box sessions, we will capture visual anomalies.
honestly, I'm being serious. You can put the cameras on, I could care less. Like, I'm being totally serious. I don't give a
It's time to go in the shower room and get cleaned up. Right now, I keep hearing sounds. Oh my God. Everything's moving on me right now.
We're in Sugarland, Texas, and dawn is quickly approaching. Nick's torment shows no sign of relenting.
What is affecting you? What is going on? I've never seen you like this.
I get connected hardcore with you.
What are you saying about?
I honestly don't know. I'm like so confused. I'm trying to focus. It's coming over me. I'm getting emotional. And I'm just like, you know how sometimes it hits you at different locations and you try to battle it out, you're good. I feel like, yeah, like thoughts, but emotions too.
It's like bad things that we should know about?
I don't know.
And what I'm fearing right now is that there's something there that is trying to attach itself to us.
But to know that we documented something so strange that started this on the millimeter, and then I started feeling that cold blast of air that came in. Everybody will have different experiences with the paranormal, and after you've been doing this for so long, you're a vehicle, a known person to communicate. And once you know a lot about them, they don't leave you alone. Oh man, I'm shaking up. I'm shaking. Can you, for the sake of research and the sake of our investigation, we have to push the limits.
No, I know that. That's why I've been trying.
Nick, I think you should go back in there.
Although Nick seems to be seriously affected by some type of energy, we are here to document evidence of the paranormal, and he may be a magnet for this spirit. So I asked him to go back inside the room where we also received large EMF spikes, felt cold blasts of air, and captured an unexplained shadow figure. I will also be shooting with the thermal imaging camera to try and capture more visual evidence. At this time, Aaron goes off by himself all the way over to the shower room where we have an X camera set up. And again, seeing as we haven't received any documentation from the state of Texas in regards to death reports, we have no idea what has occurred in this notorious prison area.
This place stinks. It's time to go in the shower room and get cleaned up. Is this it? Is this it? That's in the shower. Right now, I keep hearing sounds, like thumping sounds.
What do you want to tell the world right now? Yeah, stuff report. I feel drained. It's almost like when I confronted it, it just kind of disintegrated. Yeah, it backed off.
Alright, I'm gonna set up a thermal camera and I'm gonna set up the Oculus too. I'm gonna do it quick because this place is actually kind of active right now. Right now, there's these crazy noises all over the place. And right when I walked in here, it was totally different, a totally different vibe. I'm all by myself. I'm in this shower room, which I don't really like because you're very vulnerable in these places from real life.
Now I just feel drained. Like I need to recharge.
Hang on. I just saw, it was like a light pink.
What are you looking at?
You don't see anything on your camera? No. Alright, well this is seeing what the infrared can't see. What I saw on here was this way, then it came back, then it went that way again. And I immediately froze to see if something was in front of the camera. There's nothing.
This is probably some of the most shocking thermal evidence we've ever shot. As you watch the footage, you can easily see what appears to be figures of people undulating and morphing in weird movements, almost as if my camera is looking into a portal. We do not know what these shapes are, but they could be energy forms that the thermal imaging camera can see, and our eyes and even the infrared camera cannot see. Are we capturing a visual of what was making our millimeter spike uncontrollably and without explanation? We immediately tried to debunk these as possible reflections, but we were both standing absolutely still, and the surface I was shooting is not reflective whatsoever.
And I was shooting in this direction over here, and there's nothing reflective over here at all. I mean, the only thing that was in the background was this brick wall, and then this here. This is fabric. No reflective.
Anyone die in the shower room? Can you give me some detailed information so that the people at home, the world, America, can hear your story? This is your one chance to talk and tell your story.
Goodbye.
Oh my God, everything's moving on me right now. Just say goodbye.
Immediately after the Ovilus 2 says what will be its first and final word, the X camera moves twice, even though it is tightly secured on the sturdy tripod.
This is your one chance to talk and say your story.
Goodbye.
Oh my God,
Goodbye.
Oh my God,
Did a spirit just tell Aaron to leave and try to threaten him by hitting his X camera? Aaron decides to respect the prisoner's last request because it is also at this time to conclude our lockdown so that we may review all of the astounding paranormal evidence that we collected here at the Central Unit Prison.
Now you think about prisons, if there's one thing closest to hell, prisons is one of them.
All negative energy.
And I believe that when we went in there, we gave a spark to that gas, to that flammable environment. And that spark triggered all of this energy on you. It sparked all of this great evidence that we were able to capture, a partial apparition captured on a full spectrum camera, thermal imaging evidence, the balls of energy that we captured disappearing into your head, a dark shadow figure. If you look very closely, you can actually see a dangling left arm move first, and then it walks while we're standing still. The experiences that Aaron had in the shower room with the camera being hit.
everything's moving on me right now.
Every piece of evidence that we could ask for was caught in this moment. I believe we were pointing this thermal imaging camera into a portal. Is that what this saw?
It definitely gave me validation to what was actually happening to me. It was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. I felt that agony of somebody who wanted to just like tell a message to the world and let everybody know what was happening to him. I felt like my chest was collapsing in on me. I just couldn't function anymore. I couldn't walk, I couldn't think, I was foggy. And then I would go from being sad to completely angry. Like I just wanted to smash something, I wanted to hurt somebody because I wasn't getting that message out there. And because of that reason, I wanted to destroy whoever was there. And that's why when I started thinking, okay, I'm not sick. You know, we all say to the three of us, we're always talking about what's your breaking point. That was mine.
These are our ghost adventures. We're in Chicago, Illinois, investigating two different locations, the Excalibur nightclub and also the Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. But as we got here, we're kind of trapped in the middle of a NATO conference protest rally.
Bad people, united!
Crazy. I can't even find the guys. I have no clue where they're at.
This guy's fishing for the police with a donut.
This town is on lockdown right now. There are cops everywhere.
Reverend Jesse Jackson is right behind me giving an interview.
I almost just got into a fight when a dude threatened to break my camera, but I backed down because there's 100 other dudes standing right behind him with big old bandanas on.
I've never walked up a street blocked off in a main city where there's cops surrounding you on every side of the street. This is insane.
We're gonna get out of here, and we are going to head back and focus on our lockdown so we don't get locked down ourselves.
Bad people, united!
One of two locations that we're going to be investigating is the Excalibur nightclub right here in downtown Chicago. It is through this revolving door that there are reports of people being pushed over railings. Sightings of apparitions, including a little girl that they think is actually doing the pushing. There are reports of physical touch, mysterious candles burning in a building well over 100 years old.
This historic landmark was built in 1892 to house the Chicago Historical Society, 21 years after the Great Chicago Fire destroyed the building that stood before it.
This place, before it was the Historical Society, was the Historical Society. I'm Neil Tobin, resident necromancer of Excalibur nightclub, and it is my job to give you the true history of this place. During the Great Chicago Fire, there was a group of women that ran inside to seek shelter. The place was supposed to be fireproof. Those women never emerged.
There have also been reports of a man roaming the building. His attire suggests that of a trapper and widely believed to be the spirit of the first white landowner and settler of Chicago.
Laline. Jean Laline. You see, there's another settler who coveted that land that Laline purchased. And that man's name was John Kinsey. Kinsey maintained such a feud with Laline that intensified year by year to such an extent that eventually it could only culminate in one thing: violence. John Kinsey murdered Jean Laline, stabbed him. And here's the funny part. Not only did Kinsey get away with murder, he got a street named after him. Welcome to Chicago. As for the remains of Jean Laline, through some strange turn of event, they joined the collection of the Chicago Historical Society, which stood on this very spot until the Great Chicago Fire. The Chicago Historical Society lost its building in those flames, and with it, the remains of Jean Laline. Now, it is often said that when a person loses his life prematurely in violence, that his spirit finds it difficult to rest in peace, which may explain why, more than 100 years later, his spirit is still with us.
I like that. I like learning history that way, and I think everybody else does too, so we appreciate that.
But the hauntings in this building are not exclusive to the Great Fire or the Historical Society. Since 1985, this venue has been one of the hottest nightclubs in Chicago, providing a healthy mix of partying and paranormal.
So how long were you general manager here for?
A little less than 2 years.
Did you believe in ghosts before you worked here?
No, not at all.
Do you believe in ghosts now?
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Excalibur. We came here last night when the club was open to spectate and try and get information. And we did receive some information. There is a person that I'm not going to say his identity that told us off camera that he witnessed a guy go over the railing in a weird way.
I see a lot of people get pushed. That's usually the biggest complaint.
Get pushed by people?
No, well, they'll say that there was nobody behind them when they got pushed.
Which leads us to investigate further. Are these people really getting pushed by aggressive ghosts, or are they simply too intoxicated and are acting recklessly?
But you can't argue with the information we're receiving through credible sources that worked here.
To help support these stories, we speak with another extremely credible source who experienced her very first brush with paranormal contact right here at the Excalibur.
It was 1991.
23 years ago.
Yes, yes. And I was standing at the mirror, just fixing my hair with my fingers. And when I finished, I felt hands in my hair.
Did this trigger your interest in the paranormal?
Without a doubt, I had really encountered someone in what even at the time was known as one of the most haunted places in Chicago.
The spirit that Ursula felt run its fingers through her hair could very well be the same spirit that gave Josh his very first paranormal encounter here at the club.
At about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting at the front door, and a young lady came out and told me she was going to call the police because there was a child walking around on the 3rd floor by the women's bathroom. So I left from the front door, and I ran up the side stairs over here, and as I came up around the corner by the bathrooms, I saw a little girl.
You saw her?
Yes. It was pretty scary. After the incident I had, I refused coming by myself for about a year.
The biggest question, is there a little girl that actually died here? With our experiences, when we go to places that are demonically haunted, these entities can mimic or portray something very innocent that we're drawn to. If these claims are correct, there's some dark that's going on here, huh?
Oh, yeah. There's actually a cherub up in our dome. Every once in a while, it'll be lit with a candle. There's no way to get up there without a cherry picker.
So there's a candle in her hands?
Yes.
What is that? Questions, 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 questions. That's what we want to try and answer somehow, some way. That's the edge, that's the mystery, that's the suspense of these type of investigations, because these stories are cool. We want answers, we want to figure it out. Are you lighting this fire here on this statue? Are you pushing people over the railings? We're going to be locked down in here with you for an entire night. How long you live in Chicago?
My whole life.
You guys are tough dudes. Would you stay here by yourself in all dark for a complete night?
Absolutely not.
We're in the right place, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the right place. I've always heard about this place. The evidence has been extremely exciting.
I got an EVP and a growling voice.
In the heart of downtown Chicago sits the Excalibur nightclub, one of 2 locations we're investigating on this trip. The other is Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, about 45 minutes out of town, which is good considering what's going on in town. Before we get to Bachelor's Grove, I must make a little detour.
We need to take a break from all those damn riots and all those protesting for NATO. So, what we're gonna do is, we're driving out of the city and we're headed towards where I lived, Glen Ellen, Illinois. This is where I graduated from high school in 1995, and I have not been to that town since 1995. Every single 4th of July, I was a banner bearer. Hey! Shut up, Aaron. I was a little kid, bro.
I can just see Zach in a little outfit, handing out the flag, handing out candy.
With a lollipop.
How you doing, man? Good, good.
Watch your show all the time.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's cool.
I love your show.
Oh, cool. You gonna take a picture? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. coming back to my old town and seeing people that watch the show. It's kind of cool.
You're just walking around the old neighborhood?
Yeah, reminiscing. It's really weird. I was just telling Aaron and Nick how when I was a little kid, I got to hold the banner in the 4th of July parade. It was a tough job. They were heavy banners. That's why they used me, because they're the heaviest banners. So that's why I did it. This is my old high school, Glenbard West High School. My favorite class here was poetry. Most people don't like school, but I loved this. I love this school. And right here, this pizza shop, still open.
Pizza? Can't resist.
This is where I would sit right here and eat my pizza. I had it every single lunch. And right now we're going down the street where I lived. This is the house I lived in. My room was right there on top of the garage. I remember when I was a kid in the winter time, this whole sidewalk would be all iced over in snow. And we would get up here and get our sled and we would sled down this sidewalk right here. It's weird, man. It's like time just never passed.
As we drive away from my past back into the present, different emotions emerge. Those of excitement and anticipation. That's because we are headed to our second location. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. If there is any place with more paranormal activity in all of Chicago than the Excalibur nightclub, it's Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, one of the most haunted burial grounds in the entire world.
Growing up here in Chicago, spending all the summers I did here, I've always heard about this place, and it was more your scary cemetery because it's abandoned, it's in the woods, but the evidence that has been documented here has been very credible and just extremely exciting in terms of what it is. I am sitting on the exact tombstone that the said female apparition was sitting on in the very, very famous, world-renowned photograph taken in 1991.
We try to contact the person who took this photo to see if we can further analyze its authenticity, but have no luck in doing so.
John, what is your take on that photo?
I think it might be real, but I'm not 100% because I have no way of verifying anything.
Right. You want to see the negatives. You want to see the camera. You want to go through all
data, if you're, the new technology.
Right.
Shadow people are one of the biggest sighted things out here. In that corner over there, I got a picture of a thing that looks like a freaking werewolf. I got an EVP over in that corner there that says very clearly in a growling voice, "I'm gonna kill you."
If John's evidence is indeed some dark entities, why would spirits at rest be so angry? We investigate further to discover a slurry of possibilities. First off, these spirits are not at rest at all because this is one of the most vandalized cemeteries we've ever seen.
A grave over in that corner over there, they dug up and they actually had the skull out at one time.
Or maybe these spirits are victims of the Chicago mob, who it is said used the swamp behind the cemetery to dump the bodies.
This path we took down here used to be that main road. The stories are they came down here, killed the people, threw them in that lake.
And finally, we hear of something that we are all too familiar with in opening a location to evil. But why have satanic worshipers chosen this forest for their rituals?
They are completely convinced that it's haunted.
The Satanists.
Yeah. There's a lot of chickens without heads. We find chicken heads.
Really?
I actually saw something when I was a kid.
You did?
We were going through the woods, and there was a bunch of people. They were in a circle, wearing robes, and they had a fire going in the middle, and they were saying stuff, and we actually left.
Was it at night?
It scared us, yeah.
Did all of that stir up this sacred resting ground to produce some of the most intense paranormal type activity of any cemetery?
What's interesting interesting is that while it's historically known as Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, the surrounding forest has had its share of paranormal activity.
And this is actually a part of the Bachelor's Grove a lot of people don't know about. They just think it's just a graveyard.
So here's the original road. I've heard numerous reports of ghost cars.
I saw something only a few years ago, and you're gonna like this because there's validation to it. I was standing this way talking to somebody right there, and I saw an old antique car going down the road real slow. And I didn't really say anything because I wasn't sure. But that person I was with later told me, he goes, you know, earlier today, he goes, I could have sworn I heard an antique car.
Really?
Are these old phantom cars a product of the stone tape theory, which states that inanimate materials such as the original asphalt of this road can absorb the energy from moments of high tension? Then this stored energy can be released, resulting in a display of the recorded activity.
This is a physical form of time that you can hold in your hands. What touched this rock? What moment in time? What were they doing? What was that car hauling? Were they killing people here? Maybe this is an enchanted forest. This place right here is a hotbed of paranormal events. And we are the very first paranormal group given night access to investigating the nation's most notorious cemetery. We are getting ready to investigate Bachelor Grove Cemetery.
That's so weird, man. You see that? I just saw lights right through the woods. Look, right there. There's a light right in the woods.
Yeah. Oh my God, out there it is.
Okay, right now it is nighttime, and we are getting ready to investigate Bachelor Grove Cemetery. And as we learned earlier, we are the very first paranormal investigators to be allowed to do this by the Forest Preserve here in Cook County. Now, this is Sergeant Joe. Sergeant, we want to make sure the perimeter is secured so that nobody can contaminate our evidence as we are taking this very seriously. There's been a lot of claims about paranormal events here, a lot of photographs, a lot of serious stuff. So we need to try and document this ourselves. How many different officers do you have securing the whole perimeter?
I've got 8 on the perimeter at present.
8 of them?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much. And we are going to take the path right now to Bachelor Grove Cemetery, said to be one of the nation's most haunted cemeteries. Let's go check it out.
As we make the long trek, there is an overall feeling that this forest gives off. It has a dark energy breathing through it, which could come from either the countless satanic rituals, the stories of mobsters driving down this very road to execute people and throw them in this swamp, or the never-ending vandalism and grave robbers giving Bachelor's Grove its notorious haunted reputation. We now make our way to the entrance of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, where not only the famed apparition photo was taken in 1991, but we learned earlier from a man who's been coming here since he was a child that it can also be a very scary place.
I got an EVP that says very clearly.
Listen, Aaron, listen. That's so weird, man. I just heard a conversation. Like a conversation going on right there in the corner. Okay, listen.
There's somebody over there? We don't capture this conversation on our audio, but we're about to capture something on video that's even more astounding.
That was really weird, man. That was... Aaron, look, there's lights right there in the... Look. You see that? I just saw lights right through the woods. Look, right there. There's a light right in the woods.
Yeah.
Where?
Oh my God, dude,
yeah,
I see it. Out there it is.
On the camera.
No, it's a flashlight. Is someone coming through the woods? It has to be.
What Aaron and Nick instinctively believe is one of the Cook County police officers walking through the woods with a flashlight will soon have all of us, including Sergeant Joe and the other 8 officers, shocked beyond reason.
That was, thanks for making me part of history.
Go up here, go up here.
Aaron, go with us. Zach, which way?
It's right there. It's coming closer, real close.
can't see it.
Hold this camera.
Right here.
Yeah.
Come this way.
Guys, I got a perfect view.
This light that we are seeing is something very weird. It will glow bright, then very gradually dim all the way out. The most compelling part about it is that it's moving within 50 yards of us through thick, wooded, dry brush, and we don't hear any rustling or twig snapping whatsoever with its movement.
Dude, look, you can see the light.
I know, it's moving up like, there it is. There it is.
I now walk even closer to the light, and by following it now consistently for over a few minutes, we can judge that it's a spherical ball of light, probably about 2 feet in diameter, slowly gliding through the thick brush.
It's bright.
Where you at?
There, got it.
It keeps disappearing.
There, got it. I got it right on.
From where we're standing right now, the direction in which we are seeing this unexplained light anomaly is approximately 1 mile of dense forest, eliminating any car lights or other explainable sources. This is absolutely not the eyes of an animal or a lightning bug, for at times it remains completely still. The way it stays brightly lit for long periods of time with no flashlights or night vision cameras pointed towards it, and the overall size of it. This is the area that we were seeing the light. And it was hovering all in here, and then it would just fade out. But it was moving really fast all along this area, but there was no noise, no cracking of branches, no nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything?
No, it's gone.
I got it on camera, though.
You did?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could see it. And it was on for a bit. Yeah, it gets that really bright over you.
All right, dude. You look like you're gonna fall every 2 seconds. It's like you're not dead.
Bam.
Bam.
Right there.
Okay.
Right there. Right there. Look at that.
Wow. Dude, how slow it goes out? Yeah, but there's no noise to it.
And that's the weirdest part, is it's moving.
It's almost like they don't want us in here, obviously, but it's like they're like trying to get us out of it. Look, we're out of the graveyard. Think about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're not in the graveyard right now. They got us out of the graveyard.
Aaron makes a good point here. Did whatever manifest these lights do so in order to lure us out of the cemetery? To further try to analyze these lights, we radio Sergeant Joe.
Can you answer this for me, Joe? When you come to the path right across from the cemetery, how far do those woods go back?
Approximately a mile.
Oh my God.
Ask him if there's...
Okay, and is there any of your patrol officers, are they in the woods right here?
Negative, sir.
Something just didn't feel right.
Yes, I do too.
Followed right in. Dude, this graveyard is creepy.
EVP session. What?
Within minutes of reaching the entrance to Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, Nick spots an unexplained light anomaly deep in the woods.
Look, there's lights right there in the woods. Look, right there.
We quickly tried to debunk this as being the flashlight of one of the Forest Preserve police officers protecting our lockdown.
There's something in the woods over there with a light.
It's surreal, like a light hovering.
Oh, I'm getting chills, man. That's awesome. It was in probably 100 yards, and we thought one of your officers was in the woods right here.
And it's gone now.
No, sir. You're all by yourself back there.
Dude,
That This means that within this extremely large forest preserve area, which has 8 police officers set up on the perimeter, we are seeing this mysterious light anomaly silently move through the woods right here. And the distance from where we are standing to the edge of the woods is 1 mile.
Listen, it floated down this way and went towards that way.
By the creek.
that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
We gotta go to the brook and look.
We start heading for the creek, but don't make it very far before something else grabs our attention.
Did you hear that?
We moved just makes sense. Stay on target. Let's go. Because think about it. What's happened tonight is so far led us out of every way we were heading. So let's stay on target to the creek.
That was awesome. When I was back there looking for tonight, something that didn't feel right.
I feel like we're being followed.
Yes, I do too. I do too. Zach. Hey, we can cut up this way.
That's where the light might have been.
Yeah, this is exactly where the light is.
Well, here's the deal. Think about these satanic worship things have been in here. This is not a good forest to be kicking in. People see lights and they go to these places and they're not there. This is really bad.
It's probably the most notorious woods in the nation, man. EVP session. Is there somebody in here with us? What is the source of the light that we saw?
We now do a live review of our EVP burst session and are shocked by something we just captured.
There's somebody in here with us?
What?
That's what it says. Something is coming. Listen.
This Class A high-quality response seems to be telling us that something is coming. We just can't make out what that something is.
You weren't even moving, bro.
I know.
There's somebody in here with us?
Because of this Class A response, we decide to use the thermal imaging camera to scan the area. We also set up 2 night vision cameras inside the cemetery, one on the tombstone where the famous female apparition photo was taken, and the other covering these tombstones where we've also set up our Melmeter device. For over an hour, we received no further visual evidence from these 3 cameras, so we decide to conduct one final EVP session.
Everybody spread out. Nick, you walk down that corner by the swamp. I'm gonna stay here.
Right.
Dude, this graveyard is creepy. And over in this area is where he got the demonic EVP. So I shall join and walk in this path to the demonic area.
Rolling on the recorder in the cemetery by myself. Is there anyone here with me?
I begin using the full spectrum still camera and take approximately 50 photos within Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. I catch nothing interesting until this photo. As I aim down one of the cemetery paths, this strange multicolored feathery mist presents itself. I take a second shot and now this anomaly is completely gone. We debunked it as not being a moth, but I can't conclude as to what this is other than a strange multicolored anomaly.
Here's a tombstone. Newman. Hey, Newman. Can you help me out? We're not here to cause trouble. We're just trying to get some proof that this is the #1 graveyard in America.
Do you like people coming here to this your resting place?
At this exact moment, Nick receives an EVP. If you listen very closely, this spirit seems to be referencing the light we saw earlier.
Do you like people coming here to this your resting place?
All right, so Sergeant Joe, we got to ask you, when we were way back this path, way back to the cemetery, we started seeing this glowing ball. The ball of light would go like this, and then it would fade out, and then it would get bigger again. I thought it was one of your guys.
My guys were on the perimeter, and the closest road that way is just about a mile.
Okay.
So, not my guys.
So if any kids or anybody...
Would they have been able to get in here?
No.
They wouldn't have.
No, there's basically 4 ways in. The back path is, you would hear them. It'd be like a bull in a china shop.
Okay.
That's all loose, little loose timber back up in that way. If you're heading southbound.
Yeah, we would have been able to hear them walking through there.
Absolutely. The only other ways are through here, and I've been on these paths, no one got past me.
Okay. I got one question. Out of all the years you've been working here, how many people have talked about experiences like that?
That's one of the main ones.
What?
Is the glowing orbs. That's
Are
what
you
they
serious?
generally refer to them, yes.
That they see that frequently here?
Yeah.
We were here at night, and through the woods out that way, we see an old Victorian-style home with lights on it. And we start walking towards it, and there's no house.
What is it like now to know that we witnessed this and captured it with your police force guarding the perimeter of the forest for us?
Pretty awesome.
Thank you, Sergeant. All right.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, no problem.
So
Thanks
much.
for being out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That was,
Thanks for making me part of history.
It's time now to get locked down. Let's do this.
A lot of reports of weird things happening here.
Okay.
As we concluded our Bachelor's Grove Cemetery investigation last night, it is now time to investigate the second part of our two-part lockdown.
It's time now to get locked down inside of the Excalibur nightclub in downtown Chicago, Illinois. Let's do this. Okay, guys, while we're locked down inside of the Excalibur nightclub, there's one thing that we really want to investigate, and that is the claims that we heard earlier of all the people that seem to be pushed over the railings and being seriously injured.
They'll say that there was nobody behind them when they got pushed.
The most intriguing story is what we heard from the former general manager as he saw a girl that was here at the club come down in a frantic state wanting to call 911 because of seeing a little girl up on the 3rd floor. You saw her.
Yes, it was pretty scary.
We start right off the bat by setting up our X cameras all over the place. One covering the woman's restroom where the founder of Chicago Haunts had her first paranormal experience as a teenager.
I felt hands in my hair.
This thermal imaging X camera is covering the little statue where eyewitnesses report seeing a candle get lit by itself.
I'd have to climb up on here, and I'm not risking my life to set a candle on fire, that's for sure.
And this X camera is in a basement area where we learned that these doors open and close by themselves. Here on the 1st floor, we've set up a shadow detection device, and our good friend Gary Golka has invented this, and it covers 180 degrees, not just one linear line, but if any shadow enters this dance floor and walks, that detection device will alarm, and we'll be able to hear it, and we'll race down here to see if we can try and interact with a spirit. For approximately 3 hours, we received no unexplained spikes on our Melmeter device. We received no unexplained voices or EVPs using our digital recorders.
Did you used to come to this club?
And no spirit voices coming through our SB7 spirit box.
Is there a little girl that roams around upstairs in here?
We also received no visual evidence from any of our X cameras. So now Nick and I make our way to this area where there are reports of people being pushed off this railing by unseen forces and being seriously injured. At this time, Aaron goes up into the attic, and this is when some strange things start to raise our awareness. If you're in this room, you push people over the rail, but turn my flashlight off, turn my recorder on. So the last thing that's captured is your voice pushing me over, because I'm not going to be able to talk.
Don't ever, ever feed on the internet.
Flashlight
They will
is
remember
going
it
out
for
in 3
eternity.
seconds. 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to Doda.
All right, I'm just gonna.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Pipes rattling. What's crazy is there's a lot of reports of weird things happen here. There's supposedly this girl that looks out the window here. Can you talk to me or tell me why you stand up here and look out the window? Probably because it's a sweet view of the city of Chicago.
You want to push me? If the spirit is doing it, take credit for what you're doing. If there are aggressive, pushy spirits at this club, they definitely are not here tonight. So we decide to leave our X camera rolling in this area, and because 2 eyewitnesses saw the apparition of a little girl, we are going to leave our electromagnetic teddy bear, which will light up if a spirit touches it by detecting its electromagnetic energy, and right as we begin to leave, this happens.
That was weird, man.
You just heard conversation going on?
I heard conversations over here. Like, I don't know if it was in my head or I could hear it, but I just felt people closing in on me as I got deeper and deeper to details of their death.
I'm gonna walk around. I gotta do some Indiana Jones here. Ow. Being 6'2", cruising around small little areas like that, it's tough.
Do you want to head all the way down to the bottom here?
It takes the energy out of you. I don't know what that is.
What's really strange about this is that right after I hear an unexplained conversation, all of the energy gets completely drained out of my body.
I just feel like crawl around you or something. I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's just I'm tired.
No, let's go all the way downstairs. Whoa. I just felt really off balance. Oh, in my...
What's wrong?
Oh. Ow. That's what I felt. You all right? You okay? Who's pushing people on these stairs? Did you burn to death in here?
The stairs is the creepy area. Show me some creepy.
As Aaron continues his search for paranormal activity in the attic of the Excalibur nightclub, Nick and I decide to head down to the basement to continue our investigation.
I just felt really off balance. Oh, in my...
What's wrong?
Oh.
Ow.
That's what I felt. You all right? You okay?
Here, take that.
What the happened? I can't see on this camera.
Luckily, our X camera is rolling and capturing all of this.
I got it on.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, that hurt my arm.
Let me try to figure out what just happened.
You were standing right here and you said that you felt off balance.
I just felt really off balance.
I take a step up right here, and then I felt the down hard.
Ouch.
That's what I felt.
Many will believe that I simply tripped, and to be honest, I can't recall exactly how I fell down, but I do remember feeling a thrust against my torso area, sending me backwards, as you can see both my arms grab for the handrails when this happens. And again, the most important part here is not only did I just rest my head on the bar from something unexplainable affecting me, but Nick feels the same type of energy at the same time I fall.
Whoa, I just felt really off balance.
And it is safe to say that I cannot conclude whether I tripped or I was pushed by an unknown force.
Ouch.
That's what I felt.
Everyone talks about how the stairs that keep going up and down is the creepy area. Well, so far I haven't seen anything creepy yet, and I like to be proven otherwise. So, show me some creepy.
Nick and I now conduct an EVP session on the stairs to see if there really is a spirit in our presence.
There's somebody on these stairs?
Who's the one that's pushing people on these stairs? Did you burn to death in here?
We return to base camp and review our audio, but the conversation I heard earlier with my own ears, we debunk as I have Aaron go back into the attic while Nick and I go to the same spot and we can hear Aaron's voice through this air vent. And as far as me falling, I still cannot conclude whether a spirit had anything to do with this, but I do believe that something had an effect on both Nick and I, making us lethargic and hence probably the reason I fell.
Ouch. That's what I felt.
But whether or not it was ghosts, we just don't have enough evidence to support it. So we receive no audio or visual evidence from our investigation of the Excalibur nightclub. But by no means are we stating that this place is not haunted. What we are saying is that we were unable to obtain compelling evidence of ghosts during our time here. On the other hand, over at Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, we captured an abundance of paranormal events. An unexplained light anomaly that moved approximately 150 yards while making no noise, and police officers, as well as a sergeant from the Cook County Forest Preserve Unit, validated that this was indeed unexplained.
If it was a person, you would definitely be able to hear them. I've been on these paths, no one got past me.
We also captured this Class A EVP, a full spectrum photo capturing this strange anomaly, and another EVP that is referring to our most compelling evidence, the unexplained light anomaly. Built upon the rubble and ash of the Great Fire, Chicago grew to be one of the biggest, best, and most haunted cities in the nation.
She's pushed people down the stairs.
The spirits that reside here are born not only from that tragedy, but from its dark history as a haven for the mob, as well as some more recent activities.
I actually saw something when I was a kid.
As a native, I can truly say that Chicago is my kind of town. And while that line may not be original, the sentiment surely is.
That line you do not want to be. Different shipwrecks.
Trying to communicate with spirits that are victims of shipwrecks.
I'm about to throw up on this bird.
Don't get touched on. I just saw a man's face behind you.
My name is Zach Bagans, lead investigator of the Ghost Adventures crew. I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one.
You wanted us, you got us.
So I set out on a quest to capture what I once saw onto video. With no big camera crews following us around, I am joined only by my fellow investigators Nick Groff and Aaron Goodwin. The three of us will travel to some of the most highly active paranormal locations where we will spend an entire night being locked down from dusk until dawn.
You have reached your final destination. Hell.
Raw. Extreme.
Oh my God. Stop! Stop running!
These are our ghost adventures.
Lighthouses are lonely places. And the ocean around them, rough, treacherous, and even deadly. And no one knew that better than the lighthouse keepers here at Point Sur, California.
The Point Sur Lighthouse sits atop a volcanic rock 135 miles south of San Francisco. This rocky coastline near the towns of Monterey and Carmel is known worldwide for its amazing views, a place that must be experienced in person.
I'm gonna grab you. You're coming in with me. Okay, now you're in here with me because I want to show you something. This is probably one of the most beautiful sights as I walk back to my death. You gotta look at this, and I just want you to look what we're looking at right now. Okay, now, that was with no music. Now, we're gonna insert some really, really pretty music and watch how much more beautiful it becomes. You ready?
But don't be fooled by this siren song of beauty. This place has had its share of ugly.
There have been more than a dozen shipwrecks within view of this rocky point. Many lives have been lost within this stretch of water, and even on these shores.
Supplies were delivered by smaller boats. And this is 1933. A wave captured the small boat and it turned over. 2 guys drowned.
Died right here.
Yeah. In 1894, the Los Angeles hit some rocks and sank. 6 people were lost.
6 people
6
died.
people,
Wow.
yeah.
It just adds up quick.
Yeah.
The question remains, are the deaths at sea and on these shores the reason that the buildings at Point Sur Lighthouse are so haunted?
There are Class A EVPs being captured here.
Just make it go to bed.
The person responsible for this incredible collection of EVPs is Julie Nunes, paranormal investigator and tour guide at Point Sur. And that's really cool right now. What we're doing is we're walking around with Julie, and Julie, so awesome, has taken all of her EVPs that she's captured here at Point Sur Lighthouse and has put them on her iPhone to make them mobile. The lighthouse is not the only structure on this rock. The lighthouse station consists of 9 buildings and a pathway, 3 of which are rife with paranormal activity. This was the head keeper's house.
Yes.
What EVPs have you gotten from in here?
Woman with an Irish accent, now she wants you to go home.
Now she wants you to go home.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you can hear that good.
I always wondered, out here during that time, did these people ever go crazy or insane from just being secluded?
There was about 3 different families up here. Sometimes, you know, there might have been things going on between the families.
What do you mean?
I got an EVP that kind of hints at an affair going on.
Really?
This is the triplex where 3 of the assistant keepers live.
Okay. Is this where you got that love affair you were talking about?
Yeah, it's in the center section of this building.
Liar. Kiss her. Tell me the reaction the historian had when you shared these EVPs.
I said, what's up with the love affair in the triplex? She goes, how do you know? Only two of us know. There's no way you could know this.
So it is historically known?
Yes.
That there was a love affair in this house?
Yes.
That is frickin' awesome. And that reminds me, Nick, where does that remind us?
Of Colorado. Supposedly, it was an urban legend the girl was raped at this location by some construction men until we captured an amazing voice.
What happened to a girl down here? She was raped!
Just because it is not written in history books doesn't mean that it didn't happen. You can get information from the people that lived during that time. You can time travel back and speak with them if you can obtain EVPs like this.
Those are really clear, too.
They are here.
Liar. Kiss her. Has anybody ever captured any apparitions or seen anything?
The 10-year-old girl was in the other part of the triplex, and she saw this nice man in a blue uniform with a hat. She smiled at him, he smiled at her. They go, okay, the tour's got it. Is everybody here? And the little girl goes, but the man in the blue suit, where's he? And they go, there's no man in a blue suit.
What is interesting is that most of the paranormal activity on this rock has taken place right in this building.
I was in the triplex when we heard something drag across the floor. It was the dressers.
Dresser, the drawers?
Yeah.
Did you see them open or anything?
They were closed when we first went in, and they were open when Julie went down there.
They were.
And then she closed them again, and when we went down and were leaving the building, they were open again.
They were open again.
Yeah.
So there's poltergeist activity here.
Yeah.
Every now and then we'll walk through and look down into a door threshold, and one of these sticks will be laying across the threshold.
Just perfectly?
Yep.
Just perfectly? Now, is it just falling off the ceiling?
I don't know. I don't know how it got there.
Okay.
Did Julie play you that laugh that we got going up the stairs?
Yeah.
That was on these stairs right here.
That creepy
And we
laugh?
were talking about the sticks when it laughed, so.
Oh, you
I don't
were?
know. Yes.
You got the laugh when you
Yes.
were talking about the
Yes.
sticks?
Yes.
Correct, we get somebody to trip over. Okay. Correct, we get somebody to
trip over.
Somebody, it gets moved.
Okay.
We think it gets moved by somebody.
Julie's third EVP location is surprisingly outdoors on a path that overlooks the rocky coastline.
Just make it go to bed.
Smokey, go to bed.
And then under my friend's voice, you hear the little girl goes, go to bed.
Just make it go to bed.
That's a Scandinavian accent.
Just make it go to bed.
I got a letter from a guy whose grandfather was a keeper here, and he talked about his Aunt Kitty and his grandfather who came from Denmark. I thought this lady was born in California, and apparently not.
Make it go to bed.
There's one more that Julie got, and it's a female voice saying, "I'm right here." I'm right here. I'm right here. Sounds like a little girl again.
Yep.
Is
same
it?
one.
Same little girl.
Yeah.
The reason why we came here is the level of EVPs that are being captured here. Class A, full of vocal tone, full of everything. I think there's different geographical features that allow spirits to be able to speak that clear. Here, you have this built up on rock. You have all of this water, all this energy from Mother Nature constantly slamming up against these rocks. It's not coincidence that all the locations that we've ever been to that involve flowing water or sit on water are insanely active, haunted areas. Poveglia, Italy, Bobby Mackey's Music World, just to name a couple. Okay? But we need to do more history. We need to do more. I understand about the lighthouse keepers. I understand that. I want to know more about these people that died on these ships out here. It's so creepy just looking out at this ocean, because while it may look beautiful to some, I'm looking out here and I'm visualizing all the terror and fear in all these different shipwrecks of these people knowing that they're gonna die. That lighthouse is only here for one reason: to signal to anybody in a boat that this is where you do not want to be. So with that said, let's go get a fishing boat and come to this area and see how dangerous it really is. These waves are pretty big. It's getting bad out here. Nick is having a real tough time.
I'm about to throw up on this bird.
The Los Angeles went down right in front of me.
There were 6 people who were killed on that, and it weren't just men.
So there were women and children lost.
That's right.
The Class A EVPs collected at Point Sur Lighthouse are some of the best we've ever heard. But their origins are unclear, which is why we've decided to challenge the rough waters off the point and travel the same paths as those souls who went down with their ships in the unforgiving Pacific Ocean.
We're in Monterey. How far from Point Sur? How many miles?
By sea, it's about 25 miles.
25 miles.
The real question we're here is SpongeBob really out there?
Lives in a pineapple under the sea.
I knew it!
I got a quick question here. Are we gonna be okay? Is there anything to worry about?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Brian is going to be our captain, for we have rented out the Randy's Fishing Trips boat. And we are going to take Joanne, and Joanne is a historian in the area, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So you're going to be able to help us out the exact locations of where some of these ships went down.
Absolutely.
And tell us how many lives were lost.
Yes.
All right, with that said, let's do this. Aaron, tell them that we'll be back in probably about 8 hours.
Okay.
Aaron, I think that's a mating call. All right, here we go.
We are a U.S. Coast Guard inspected vessel, licensed to carry passengers. All of our inspection papers are inside the lounge on the forward right-hand wall of your glass. Those papers.
I speak 4 languages, one of them Seal.
Okay, right now we are leaving Monterey Bay, the Fisherman's Wharf. This boat is going to make a 25-mile trek down the coastline to get to the exact location of all the shipwrecks. Are some of these men that lost their lives the spirits that are haunting Point Sur Lighthouse? These waves are pretty big. And it's constantly just whoa, whoa, boom, boom. And we're only a half hour in and Nick is having a real tough time. Aaron, of course, is just hopping around like a little kid. It's getting bad out here. It really
chance to take the raft. You're gonna take a raft. No, I've heard. You think getting on a raft is gonna be better than this? No. All right, yeah, he's sick because he ain't thinking right. Part of coming out here, you're trying to communicate with spirits that are victims of shipwrecks. Going down in a shipwreck, the body is lost, the soul is still alive, the soul goes up on shore, it goes to the first buildings that it sees, and that's the Point Sur Lighthouse. Being out here and experiencing what they did, this all goes into the research and investigations that we do. You can see in the distance the rock, Point Sur, sticks out like a sore thumb. About how far you think are we away? 11 nautical miles. 11 nautical miles? And about how much time do you think that is? About an hour. Hang in there, Nick.
I'm about to throw up on this bird.
How many different shipwrecks do you know of in this area that lost men?
About 2 dozen shipwrecks that occurred in the area.
2 dozen?
Probably half of those, there were some loss of life.
Which specific ones do you know about?
Well, one of the ones we wanted to talk about was the Los Angeles, which is due west of here.
When did that go down?
That was 1894.
1894. How many men lost their lives?
There were 6 people who were killed on that, and it wasn't just men. There were some passengers as well.
So there were women and children lost.
That's right.
I didn't know that there were children lost. I thought they were only like sailors. And now that sheds some more light on the female child's voice that's coming through. The Los Angeles went down right in front of me. About halfway distance between here and the lighthouse. Before we head back to the wharf, we want to just leave a wreath in remembrance for all the lives that were lost here at Point Sur, from children to men to women. And this wreath is in remembrance and memorial for them. This time here at Point Sur Lighthouse, we're gonna do something a little bit different. Did you see any of the shipwrecks?
There's a voice there.
Okay, we are getting ready to start our investigation, and this time here at Point Sur Lighthouse in California, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We are going to do half of our lockdown during the day. Because if you remember Julie, who we interviewed earlier, she got a lot of audio evidence during the day. So we have to go with whatever timing is right for documenting evidence. That's why we are here. Not only are we gonna go with what she told us to do, but we have also invited her back to participate in part of this lockdown investigation with us. And what's really cool is yesterday, after we interviewed you, you went in here and you started doing an EVP session.
Yes.
Now you had somebody with you. We can't show who this person is here, but he does work with the California State Parks. He's an officer, and he witnessed this.
Yes.
What I heard was just a few sounds on a recorder.
Now, what were these sounds? Did you make them out to be anything?
Voices. It was, I think it was a male that said, take your shirt off.
Jeez, they're having some fun in these places.
It's always in that bedroom.
And there's something else too?
Yeah, right after that.
Take your shirt off. Don't grab me, Dawn. What's going on in here?
You know, isolation.
And you were here.
I was.
You were present for this.
I was with another officer.
Okay. Did you hear somebody out loud say, take your shirt off?
No.
And don't grab me.
No.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you very much for being a credible witness, then validating its authenticity. Because, you know, there's a lot of people are skeptical of ghosts. A lot of people are skeptical of all of this evidence, stuff like that. So let's go, because we want to document some of these voices as well.
As we make our way upstairs in the head keeper's house, our goal is to capture these very compelling voices from the dead and determine what these messages mean. Then we can establish whether it's an intelligent or residual haunting.
I just want to say hello. I'm really impressed on how much you're talking. I don't know whether or not you can hear us or interact with us, because these voices seem to be just kind of talking about something else.
I think they're more residual voices in this room. Yeah.
We do 2 EVP sessions trying to distinguish intelligence from residual hauntings by asking questions looking for answers.
What kind of magic happened in here? Are you doing sexual things?
Julie and I head to the barn where we have a nerve center set up with our audio-video tech Billy Tolley, as we will be immediately reviewing the EVP sessions we just did. Nick and Aaron are hanging back to do a thermal imaging and EMS sweep of the house.
If we get any spikes here, right now it's at 0, 0, then we know there's a dramatic change in the energy that's forming.
Nick and Aaron pick up nothing unusual on the thermal camera or spikes on the millimeter, so I radio them back to review the EVP session.
Go ahead.
I mean, are we interrupting something?
We said we found some careful.
I mean, are we interrupting something?
Very faint, very light. This session was so controlled and so absolutely quiet that it's very impressive, even if we hear just a slight whisper.
Next.
Did you see any of the shipwrecks?
Can you enhance that? Enhance just as raise the volume. That's all I ask.
Did you see any of the shipwrecks?
There's a voice there, it's just whispered.
I think we definitely agree that we have some spirit voices here, but they're not high enough in the frequency to be heard as Class A. And I think that sometimes when they speak really low like that and they come through in a low class EVP specification, things just aren't right. You know, maybe it's the way that we were, the positioning, the climate, just so many different little things, like a combination lock. So we need to get back, because we came here to get Class A EVPs like she's been capturing. We came here to communicate.
I got a solid purple figure walking up this path right here. It's really creepy.
Our daytime lockdown at Point Sur continues. Nick and Aaron join Julie, Billy, and me in the barn to help review the evidence we captured in the head keeper's house.
Very faint, very light.
So at this time, we release Julie from the investigation and decide to use a more highly sensitive digital recorder.
If there's a woman in here, you spoke earlier. You spoke in front of a highway patrol officer and a California Park State Ranger. They witnessed that. We need to witness that, please.
With another 30-minute recording session complete,
That's all this is. It's rapid EVP sessions.
Aaron and I return to Nerve Center to review the audio with Billy, while Nick stays back and uses yet another type of recording device, the old magnetic tape recorder.
Hopefully when a spirit talks, it's a little bit easier for the energy to attach itself to this magnetic strip of tape right here. And if you are here, if there's a little kid here, how is it to be on this island, on this rock? Can you see me, what I'm doing? All right, well, I was up there for a good while. I'm gonna run back, hand this tape recorder to Billy.
We receive no EVPs this time from the session we just did, and as Nick returns from his recording session, he and Aaron take a quick dinner break while Billy and I begin reviewing Nick's audio, at which point all four of us are totally thrown off guard when we hear this.
That's your brother, okay.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Aaron, did you hear that?
It's odd, yeah.
What did you hear?
Well, I heard some sort of
Girl singing.
That's your brother, okay. I heard some sort of
Girl singing. Yeah. All right. We immediately grab the camera and head outside to where we all heard this female voice singing and find no one out here. What's even more interesting is that the camera's audio that captured this girl singing also had an unexplained audio frequency burst moments before the voice was captured.
That's your brother, okay. That's your brother, okay. That's your brother, okay. You know, Julie did say when you're walking around out here, she's captured voices
Of a little girl.
of a little girl up and down this pathway.
I'm right here.
Sounds like a little girl again.
Yep.
Is it? Same little girl.
All I know is if I was a little girl here, then you got free range to roam anywhere she wants. You know what I'm saying? Why not come and check out what we're doing?
Little girl, you over here in the flowers? Was that you singing?
Earlier today, we were in a boat just off these rocks at the site of a shipwreck where a historian told us that in 1894, the Los Angeles went down right here, and a little girl and 5 others lost their lives. We now investigate further to find out if the little girl we just heard may be the spirit that drowned in this shipwreck.
Maybe she's just curious.
Whoa. Is there a little girl with us right now? Give me a recorder. Give me a recorder.
Yeah.
Look.
This means that something we believe is the same energy that just caused our audio to have a frequency burst resulting in a female voice is now in here with us and being detected by this device.
Do you like making that alarm, little girl? Little girl, did we just hear you singing?
Whoa.
At this exact moment, something truly scientifically astounding occurs. While our meter is detecting a presence of electromagnetic energy, we simultaneously capture a child's voice that we make out saying,
Little girl, did we just hear you singing? Do you like doing that?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
1.1. I had a 1.1 spike with that.
We continue investigating further, trying to document more evidence of this child's spirit by even using a trigger object in more experiments. But as it is very common with paranormal investigations, her presence immediately vanishes.
Billy, go get 2X cameras. I want you to set them up over in the main headkeeper's house.
Okay.
Okay, where we just were. We're going to be in the next place. And we're going to try some different equipment here.
Now that the sun has set below the horizon, night has arrived, and so have our night vision cameras. And with Billy up the hill on the other side of the lighthouse property inside the headkeeper's house, setting up X cameras,
Let me set this camera down here.
we begin rolling on our thermal imaging camera to see if we might be able to capture the spirit of the little girl that we just communicated and interacted with.
let's go up here. Let's go up this way. Come on.
Area's closed, do not enter, it says.
Nah, we go in. We go in stuff that says do not enter. Dude, it's really creepy in this part. Hey, right now we're going up in the part where nobody really goes. Julie was saying this is what they investigated before, and there's an old man in here that gets angry at whoever enters this building. Hey, where's Billy? Whoa, dude. I thought I saw someone standing there. Yeah, come here. You guys, come here. Dude.
Billy's over there setting up the cameras.
Yeah.
Is he over there?
He should be, right?
Do you want me to look?
Yeah. Is right here. You are in here. Yeah. Okay, then I got something, dude. I got a solid purple figure walking up this path right here. No, there's something over here. I'm getting touched on my hair. What? You guys felt? I just saw a man's face behind you.
With the sun no longer shining over Point Sur, we turn to our night vision and thermal imaging cameras and quickly capture more evidence of paranormal activity.
I got a solid purple figure walking up this path right here.
What?
And I saw it, and the second I went back to it, it was gone.
I've been in here for
I know. 2 seconds ago. Come here. Look at this real quick. I know I captured it. Give me some light. 17. It's like right here. Watch. The three of us left. Billy, you immediately came here. Right. This all happened 2 minutes ago. So I'm looking back towards the path, right? Way down by the barn. Watch this. Right there.
Who's that?
Exactly. And it looks purple. You see that, right?
Yeah, I see that.
Now watch.
It's crazy.
Now watch. And then I go right back. Like, what the hell? And
Nothing.
There's nothing there.
Whoa.
What's interesting about this figure is that if it was a person, the body heat should be picked up by the crosshairs, indicating the highest temperature, which at this moment is 61 degrees on the concrete road. The figure is also purple in color, very typical of how spirits will appear on thermal.
Look what temperature it is. It's not super hot at all.
Right there.
It's in the 50 range.
Wow. And then it walks. Really weird, too. Go. Leave this here. Come here, come here, come here.
We immediately double-check our base camp to make sure nothing or no one is down there, further validating that what we just caught was an unexplained figure.
There's nobody here.
Later, we will further analyze this by calling Julie back to our location. And with that awesome capture, it is now time to investigate one of the most active locations here, the abandoned triplex building.
Earlier, we learned that there's poltergeist activity in here where these wooden sticks will just appear in all the doorways, and some with nails sticking out.
Every now and then, one of these sticks will be laying across the threshold.
Just perfectly.
Yep.
Also, this is the same building that Julie captured a lot of Class A EVPs.
Liar. Kiss her.
Julie was saying that this section nobody is allowed to go into. They've investigated a couple times, just herself and someone else. When they go in here, every time, this is more of the darker presence. A grumpy guy, they call him, gets really kind of mean and wants them out, says a lot of get outs. So let's go in and try to communicate with him.
Different feel.
I know, that's what I was saying, man.
Hello? Is anybody here?
Let's put some power stations, some EM pumps down here on the ground. There's a spirit in here, you know, maybe it can use it, use its energy and communicate with us better.
There's somebody up here. My name is Zach. Not meaning to disrupt you, remove you from your house. Just want to learn a little bit more about you. Are we welcome here? To a spirit box session? If there's anybody in here, you can talk to us through this device. Can Legs got crowded around my spirit. Who's it? How many spirits are in this room?
Even though we aren't capturing any voices through the spirit box, we all begin feeling pockets of condensed energy that seems to elevate our emotions. And as this happens, I feel fingers go through my hair, triggering a flurry of events, which is very typical when you experience the paranormal, as we call them paranormal waves.
No, there's something over here. I'm getting touched on my hair. What is that?
Can you talk to us? Whoever's touching him, say something.
Who are you?
We receive our first intelligent spirit response answering my question, which coincidentally comes through right when we're feeling its energy. This response shocks us all.
Who are you? Listen to that.
Do you recognize him? Do you know him?
Yeah, I just saw a face behind you.
What?
I just saw a man's face behind you. That was so clear.
Felt like there was like a sailor or a captain.
I saw a guy. He was very, very tall, very high cheekbones, like older looking. Yeah.
Guy around me. I swear to God, I felt that.
Sir, who are you? Sir, what are you? Are you a light keeper?
Admiral!
Oh, right there. There was a woman's voice. Is that Admiral?
Yeah, it just said Admiral.
I saw a very tall, thin man with high cheekbones that looked like he was wearing a dark blue hat and uniform, something we were told earlier that a young girl also saw.
She saw this nice man in a blue uniform with a hat.
Then as I ask who I saw, a girl's voice answers my question.
Sir, what are you? Are you a light keeper?
Admiral!
Is this girl the Admiral's daughter speaking on his behalf?
There's just like this complete cold mass right here. Zach, I feel this, dude. It's all around me.
Who are you?
Do you feel that?
Oh my God! Holy sh!
It's warm right here. It's cold.
Yeah, I feel it too.
Who's in here with us? Oh my
Did you
God.
hear that?
That was so
Did you hear that?
bad.
I hear that.
I did get something weird on thermal.
What
That purple blotch.
Oh, it was like a little path with steps that a person could walk. It doesn't exist anymore.
As the paranormal activity in the triplex building continues all around us, Nick and I experience a wall of ice-cold air in an otherwise warm environment.
Do you feel that?
Oh my God! Holy sh!
It's warm right here.
Yeah, I feel it too.
Who's in here with us?
Little girl crying.
Oh my God.
Did you hear that?
That was
Did
so
you hear that?
sad.
Did you hear that?
What's weird here is that we hear a little girl's voice come through, and Nick reacts by saying that's sad. Then immediately a man's voice comes through and repeats what Nick just said.
Little girl crying.
Oh my
Did you
God.
hear that?
That was
Did
so
you hear that? Did you hear that? You hear that? You hear that?
Little girl, why are you crying?
I'm asking a question to the other spirits. How did the little girl that we're hearing, how did she die?
Little girl, are you still here? Do you want to say something? Or is that man still here? Is that why you're scared? Because there's a guy here not letting you talk?
It seems as though the little girl has either left or the male spirit is preventing her from communicating. So we decide to conclude our lockdown and bring Julie back so we can show her all of the evidence we have captured.
The headkeeper house with you and myself, remember? We got the soft, careful, some whispering. Then I went back in there and did a session with a different recorder, got nothing. Then we went back to the headkeeper's house, did a session with the magnetic tape recorder, we got nothing. But then when we came back here to base camp, reviewing audio, we hear this girl singing right here.
Oh, I've gotten her remember seeing it too, where I've heard it.
Yeah, so check this out. We get that, we grab this recorder right here, we start rolling. Then we start getting millimeter going off. With this recorder, we get a little girl running through.
Yeah.
Now that sounds like a little girl, doesn't it?
It does.
So then we left a recorder rolling in the head keeper's house, and we got nothing but a weird wood sound. We did get something weird on thermal. Yeah. Yeah. All of us are here, and we're coming up with a new game plan. So all four of us leave at the same time, right?
Okay.
I'm running thermal. We're kind of slow. Billy passes us. He goes into the head keeper's house here. He's in there right now, setting up cameras. So as we're walking, we're getting ready to go up into the side triplex house. I'm shooting back towards base. Who is that? See that?
What
That purple
building?
blotch.
Oh.
I'm shooting back down towards the barn.
You know, that's where hillside. There shouldn't be anybody walking there. The trail, there's not even a trail that comes up that high.
So you're saying this is on the side of the hill?
Yeah, that's where it looks like. That looks too low to be the deck.
That's what I was thinking, because the deck goes right here.
Right.
Right? The road goes around, down, and right about here.
You know what they used to have on this side? It was kind of like another thing to bring up supplies from the ocean. It was like a little railroad track that went up here, and also a path with steps that a person could walk. It doesn't exist anymore. It hasn't in decades. So that looks where the same place where it would have been.
So where this is on the side of the hill.
Yeah, where it's too steep and there's all that poison oak.
Yeah, watch. And then I'll go up, and then I'm like,
Gone.
gone.
I'm really impressed. I am really impressed. Because that's way below the deck.
So where this
Is this
thing
past the
was,
deck?
this what looks like a person,
Yeah.
but it's solid purple, it would be below this deck. So where the old steps used to be in the early 1900s,
Yeah.
late 1800s.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
As we are leaving with Julie, I remember the word Admiral coming through the spirit box and decide to ask her about it to see if it has any possible meaning.
You know what? Retired, some of the head keepers here were retired military.
Really?
It could have been a retired admiral. There was one from the Swedish Navy
Really?
who came here after retirement to be a head keeper.
So it could have been.
It could have.
The mountain of evidence captured at Point Sur raises a big question. Are these the spirits of the keepers and others who have spent time on this solitary rock? Or are they the voices of those who have perished within sight of the lighthouse and found their way to these shores? Either way, one thing is clear. Point Sur is definitely one of the most haunted lighthouses in America.
There's a very intelligent, dark entity here.
The basement has all...
Fired.
Yes, I do.
Danger for any of the people here in this house.
Is somebody doing this to us?
My name is Zach Bagans. I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one.
You wanted us. You got us.
So I set out on a quest to capture what I once saw onto video. With no big camera crews following us around, I am joined only by my fellow investigator Nick Groff and our equipment tech Aaron Goodwin. The three of us will travel to some of the most highly active paranormal locations where we will spend an entire night being locked down from dusk until dawn.
You have reached your final destination. Hell.
Raw. Extreme.
Stop running!
These are our ghost adventures.
We're at the Palmer House
because the owner has called us from what may be an infestation of unexplained events that are manifesting in apparitions, dark shadow figures, and a demonic presence.
Built in 1864 as the Sauk Center House, it wasn't until a mysterious fire in 1900 burned that building to the ground. And from those ashes rose the Palmer House. Built by Ralph and Christina Palmer, it became a first-class hotel and saloon, whose primary patrons were traveling salesmen brought in by railroad. Since 1901, the origins of that fire remain a mystery. It's been said that innocent people hiding in the basement perished in that blaze. Could those victims be the reason behind the incessant dark hauntings here at the Palmer House? We're here to find out.
You know, we've been hearing a lot about this location. Some of these experiences that not only you yourself are having, but a lot of other people are all kind of dark-natured.
Yes, they are. The basement has always just had an entirely different feel. It can be very uncomfortable.
And that's why you called us here.
Yes, that is.
Right now, we are headed down into the basement, and this is what we traveled here for. This is why Kelly has called us, is because of what is lingering down here.
A stranger told me about a dream that they had, and they've never heard of the Palmer House. A gentleman appears to her, and he's basically telling her it's time for my story to be told. She told me where there was a body buried underneath a set of stairs that she very specifically had told me where he would be. I started the digging with a large spoon from the kitchen.
What did you find?
I started to find bones. A lot of rib bones.
Did you ever find out if they were animal bones or human bones?
No, and that's the problem. When I went to retrieve them the next day, they were all gone.
Do you think that people were killed in this fire down here?
Yes, I do.
Could the activity in the Palmer House be traced back to any trapped, unrested spirits who were victims of this fire? We conduct the rest of this interview with our night vision and thermal cameras to see if we can document any evidence to support this theory. But as we're about to continue,
do you feel like you okay?
Surrounded. I feel.
Whoa. 0.8, 0.5. I feel tightness in my chest.
I feel like just going off.
Look at. This is documenting right now. There's something around you. Okay. A 1.3. Are you getting that? 1.3 to a 1.0 to a 0.8 to a 0.4 to a 0.2.
with this high level of energy around us, we immediately begin rolling our night vision cameras and equipment.
If there's somebody here, you just made Kelly cry uncontrollably. We felt you. We documented your presence. Can you show us who you are? I'm gonna pick up the millimeter right now, and I'm gonna hold it in the exact area that I was holding it at the time that Kelly was having this experience.
Our millimeter, which was receiving spikes up to a 1.9 milligauss, is now baselined at a 0.0, the same exact spot. Is it just coincidence that when Kelly and ourselves felt this sudden impact of dark energy, our millimeter simultaneously documented an unexplained energy presence? And now Kelly opens up to us about an apparition she once witnessed in this very same spot.
There was a large black dog, wolf.
Creature-looking thing?
Yes. And red eyes.
Kelly, that's not good. That's demonic.
Based on this shocking information, I immediately end our interview and we pass the digital recorder over to Billy Tolley, our audio-visual tech. While he analyzes these EVPs, we continue our investigation of the basement.
Actually, where I found the bones would have been right on the other side of that wall.
All right, I am getting chills right now. Coming here Listening to the stories, it's really reminding me of deja vu at Bobby Mackey's. Carl Lawson dug in the well and discovered underneath those floorboards the portal that opened that location to all of its demonic hauntings. Here we have Kelly, and you can see all the implements that she used, the spoons.
It's a weird resemblance.
Based on the energy surrounding Kelly in the basement, we take baseline millimeter readings throughout the property. Our sweep resulted in an overall 0.0 milligauss reading, which validates the energy she experienced only moments ago. The most disturbing encounter with the paranormal is possession. We watch personal video of Chris Schneider, who claims she recently fell victim to a possession here in the basement of the Palmer house.
You need to talk to me. Get out.
I think we need to pull her away from the area.
All the dogs are down here and I gotta take care of them.
Time to go away.
Okay.
Chris, has this happened to you before?
Only once before, but not to this level.
Obviously, this spirit is wanting to be heard, but did you feel it coming through you?
It's like I was there watching everything happen, but I couldn't prevent anything.
All the dogs are down here and I gotta take care of them.
Could the dogs Chris is referring to be one of the dog-like creatures that Kelly told us about only hours ago?
Dog, wolf.
If so, this similar entity experienced by two separate people is worth immediate investigation.
The dogs are doing just fine.
We would like to take you downstairs. We just want to see if we can document any evidence around you.
Absolutely.
As we prepare to head into the basement with Chris, our millimeter suddenly begins alarming. Around her.
What is in you, woman?
The ghosts know me.
Look at this. That does not do that.
Have her hold it. Wow.
Baffled by these readings, we quickly grab another millimeter to confirm if what we are reading is accurate.
And they're both definitely getting signals around her.
I'm a magnet, maybe.
After several minutes in the basement with Chris, we realize something now has a very bad effect on her.
Chris?
So we wrap up our investigation. Sometimes witnessing people who have been affected by spiritual energy is not enough to prove that spirits were involved. We now take additional readings in the spot where Chris just stood.
Nothing's happening.
There's nothing.
Which only supports the abnormal readings around her. We regroup with Kelly to review a series of very unsettling EVPs we captured during our earlier interview with her.
I mean, usually I'm happy to show people good EVPs. This is the one time where I'm not. Obviously, there's something right here, as you can see it on the waveform.
0.7.
I hear I'm following her.
0.7. 0.7.
That is precisely what it sounds like.
To further prove the legitimacy of this EVP, we play it back directly from the recorder that captured it.
0.7. Are you okay?
Yeah.
That's right there.
Wow.
On that EVP, right before you hear the EVP, the Mel is going off.
0.8.
The millimeter was picking up probably the same energy that was having an emotional effect on you. Probably the same energy that spoke. I don't think that's all we captured.
I want you to tell us.
No.
Tell us. Tell us.
Like it does not want anything to be told. This is a creepy one.
We will now go back to the exact moment where this EVP was captured to show how controlled the session was and that we didn't confuse any contamination for the spirit voice.
There are spirits here. I'm hearing they're coming to get you. To have Class A EVPs with tone saying, I'm coming to get you, I'm following her, and when I said I need you to tell us everything, it says no. There's a very intelligent, dark entity here.
Yeah, it is.
there's other guests here that were here way before you. You tell us what you want us to do at this point.
I like the idea of not agitating, but if you can get more answers.
Yeah. Instead of us 3 down here, we've built 3 robots, and we're going to remotely operate these robots from the Best Western 2 miles away.
Is there any danger for any of the people here in this house?
Yeah, Baggins. It says Baggins.
We're in Sauk Center, Minnesota, continuing our investigation of the Palmer House Hotel.
So we're going to go to the Historical Society right now.
Can I get your signature, please?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of your show.
Okay.
I watch it every day.
There you go. So, we're going to go to the Historical Society and try and find anything at all that they may have preserved so that we can better interact with the spirits there. Here's stuff about the Palmer House. June 28th, 1900, the Sauk Center house destroyed by fire, but they never say how it was started. Ghost? What about ghost? The Palmer House ghost. This is a typed testimony by one of the owners. Back in the 50s, a man hanged himself in the Palmer House bar by jumping off the pool table, and they found him dead in the morning. And this is the 70s, early 80s. One of the owners, he hears footsteps coming down the hall from room 12 or 13. Read that last sentence there. I know there is something up there, but I can't explain it.
Due to the intense amount of activity we experienced on day 1 at the Palmer House, we decide to call for some backup. Local investigator Dave Schrader, who is no stranger to us or the Palmer House, joins the investigation.
Well, one of the few actual full-on experiences I've ever had happened right down here in the basement. I was investigating with 2 other women, and we were walking back by the stairways where it's believed that an actual body has been buried underneath the stairs. And as the 3 of us were staring at the staircase, this face came up out of the darkness, and it just came right at us. That was truly one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen.
Aaron and I head back into the basement, curious if any more bones remain in the hole where Kelly once dug. But it's clear the energy at the Palmer House cannot be contained to the basement alone. So Dave and Nick set up for a live shack hack session in one of the Palmer House's most active rooms.
I'd come here with the owner, and she said, "This is Lucy's room, Dave. She's not fond of men." Now, that chair is known to be Lucy's chair. All right, Lucy, I'm standing here with Nick. I know you're not fond of men, and you're certainly not fond of them being here in your room. Can you come forward and just say hello or talk to us? Let us know, why are you so angry? Lucy, are you here with us?
Is there a lady here that wants to talk to us?
Is there any danger for any of the people here in this house?
I thought that said Zach.
Right there.
Yeah.
It's a whisper. It says Zach. Holy crap. Let's go show him. Sure you want to be doing this?
Why?
Because we just captured something really creepy. Just listen.
Is there any danger for any of the people here in this house?
Right there.
I hear Baggins right after it.
Yeah, Baggins. It says Baggins. Didn't hear that.
We review the EVP again, only to find there's more to this warning.
And then there's a laugh right afterwards.
Yet again, another disturbing parallel to Bobby Mackey's.
We just got your voice that came through on the radio upstairs.
During our event, Dave and Nick brought to my attention a spirit voice captured on his shack hack, but the spirit was mimicking my voice. By now, the similarities between Bobby Mackey's music world and the Palmer House have reached an unparalleled climax. Bobby Mackey's had Carl, the caretaker. Here, we have Kelly, who serves the same role. Bobby Mackey's well was a portal to hell. In the basement, the hole Kelly dug appears to have unleashed high levels of activity throughout the Palmer house, which has impacted everyone from herself to her guests, one of whom, Chris, claims to have suffered a possession.
You need to talk to me. Get out.
We have amassed a compelling collection of evidence. And we haven't even begun our lockdown.
I'm concerned right now because this is so much like Bobby Mackey's.
It's like it seeks us out now.
Right. Now what's going to happen with us?
All it takes is one of us to be pushed over the edge.
Then there's a bloodbath amongst us.
Yeah, then it's going to be really bad.
Lock us in here, Kelly.
This whole building is infested.
I'm a little nervous all of a sudden in here.
Whoa! Did you hear that? It is time now, as it is getting dark, for us to investigate a location that has very much, in a very eerie, creepy way, resembled a location that is one of the most darkest haunts that we've ever investigated. I'm not claiming that this place is infested by demons or it's on the same scale as Bobby Mackey's Music World, but there were a lot of weird similarities. Okay, we're gonna get locked down in here, but there's one other person that we're gonna get locked in here with us, Billy Tolley, our audio visual tech. Billy has set up a video surveillance area, a nerve center, if you will, up on the second floor. You already know what's here. It's our turn to find out what's here.
Absolutely.
All right, lock us in here, Kelly. We haven't even started investigating yet, and just as we arrived here today, a rainbow was going into the building. But I don't think we're hunting leprechauns on this lockdown. It could be very much darker.
All right, we're getting ready to begin our lockdown right now. While we're investigating, Billy, watch these cameras. We've got a camera in room 17 on the 3rd floor, a very, very active room, Lucy's room. We've got a camera here on the 2nd floor, and we've also got 2 cameras down in the basement earlier. This is where Kelly had that very, very emotional experience triggered by an unknown presence of activity that spoke to us in Class A voices.
Point 7. Tell us.
We've got REM pods in every single camera. That means if there's a presence of energy, electromagnetic energy, the manifestation of a spirit, these REM pods will begin lighting up and they will begin alarming. At that point, let us know. This is our bait.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Thanks, Bill.
Be safe, guys.
This area is now closed.
This whole building is infested with paranormal events. And earlier we learned a lot about what happened up here on the 3rd floor and also room 17 where we're headed right now.
Now that chair is known to be Lucy's chair. Every time I've been here, I've had some kind of activity of Lucy letting me know that she's here with me.
And here it is, room 17. What happens in here, Nick?
When I was interviewing Dave Schrader and we're using a shack hack, when we said tonight when we get locked down, is any of us going to be in danger? We captured your name coming through here.
Is there any danger for any of the people here in this house?
It's not like we haven't faced danger before, so we begin conducting an EVP session using a diode microphone, which was used by EVP research pioneer Dr. Konstantin Rodove. We talked to our friend Dave Schrader earlier, who said that this door slammed shut. Lucy, are you here? For approximately 25 minutes, we take a very passive approach to our investigation and have no feelings of spiritual energy around us, nor do we receive any EVPs or activity from our REM pod. But then Nick reminds me about something negative, so we decide to switch gears.
Supposedly, whatever female is in here hates guys. Every time guys come in here and cause ruckus, the spirit gets really pissed off.
I know you're not fond of men and you're certainly not fond of them being here in your room. Let us know, why are you so angry?
Is there somebody in this room? Lucy, are you in this room? You don't like guys? Huh?
That's going off. Right behind
Not
me.
like us messing the bed up?
Here, hold on.
You not like us doing this? As soon as I begin to use a little provocation, our REM pod detects a change in the electromagnetic energy field and the environment takes on a completely different feeling.
It's going off.
You don't like that? This stuff here?
Dude, things go nuts. Get that. I'm trying.
Is that what you don't like? Is all this here? Can you do something? Look at that. I've not ever seen that do that.
That's weird, man. I'm a little nervous all of a sudden in here, man.
You alright?
Yeah. Just feels different all of a sudden. Especially after you did that to the pet.
Look.
What if we take that chair? Whoa.
What if we arrange the room even more? Huh? Do you like this? Huh? I'm not trying to piss off the spirit. I'm just trying to gather activity.
Probably why she doesn't like guys. Because they come in here and mess up her room.
I'm not destroying anything. I'm gonna put it back.
I say leave it, man. Leave it this way and see what happens.
Right now, we're gonna run the SB7 spirit box. The scans through audio frequencies very fast. We're gonna sweep in reverse, and we're gonna try and pick up anything or anybody in here.
There's somebody in this room that's making this device go off? Can you tell me what is on the mattress here? Whoa. Did you hear that? Yeah, someone just touched you.
I know. There was a weird noise too.
Yeah, like a pop. Yeah, like I felt like I got tased.
I feel something shock me, like when someone rubs their feet on the carpet and then touches you on the back of the neck, but I did not touch Nick or Aaron or anything else. It was some kind of really powerful static shock that all three of us could also hear come through the spirit box speaker.
Can you tell me what is on the mattress here? Whoa. What was that? Did you hear that?
Did I just feel a jolt of the same type of energy that is also making the REM pod go berserk? What we have to try and figure out now is whether this is some kind of intensified spiritual energy or something else that is explainable.
Man, I felt that go up on me.
I know you're saying, man. You can feel an aggression once in a while.
Yeah.
I kind of feel a little.
Like it's right here. There's something right here.
It comes and
Yeah,
goes,
it
right?
comes and goes. It's like this aggressive feeling that goes away. Aggressive feeling goes away.
As we turn the SB7 spirit box back on and begin sweeping, we immediately receive this.
I felt that energy.
Whoa! Did I say Aaron?
Yeah, you did. You said Aaron. Class A. I felt that energy.
Whoa! Did I say Aaron?
Let's back up for a second and acknowledge what voices we have captured in this room over the last 24 hours. Earlier today, Dave and Nick asked, who is in danger? And now Aaron's name comes through.
Whoa!
And in just a few moments, things will get even more extreme.
Guys, come in.
I keep seeing something on the screen.
Oh my God! It goes spirit. Who's here with us? Whoa.
We continue our investigation inside one of the Palmer house's most active rooms, Lucy's room, where only moments ago Aaron's name came through our SB7 spirit box.
I have the chills.
Dude, you just said Aaron's name. What do you want to tell Aaron?
You don't tell me. What was that? Was that just you? No. That growling noise?
Oh my God! It goes spirit. It goes spirit.
Nick hears a growl from this part of the room that does not come through the spirit box. But right as he reacts, a voice comes through the device, possibly telling us who made the growl.
That growling noise?
Oh my God! It goes spirit. And that was a bad voice, man.
Say Aaron's name again.
Things go crazy over there, man.
Wow, it is.
Dude, it's like heightened up right now. It is. Oh, I feel this itch on my ear and my face.
You alright, dude?
Yeah.
Who's here with us?
saying, dude. I just heard footsteps running down the hall.
Are you still here with us? What do you want to do